Welcome back to the Kevin Blakicki YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Gamecock women's basketball team and the absolute belt-to-ass performance that they just put on against Queens College today. They won by a score of 121-49. Now, I wasn't planning on making a video about this game. They're playing Queens. I thought Queens was in New York because I'm a I'm like, oh, they're playing a team from New York. They're playing Queens College, which is in Charlotte. So, which kind of makes more sense because whenever you have these cupcake, non-conference games early in the season, as you tend to do in the month of November, they usually don't travel that much. It's not like the Big Ten where you're going across the country, going from Oregon to Penn State, across the country. No, they usually keep these non-conference games pretty local. So that was on me for being an idiot and not knowing that Queens College is in Charlotte. I guess I don't know ball. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is because of how bad it got. South Carolina put up 121 points, which is not only the most that they've scored this season, it is the most that they've scored under Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley is the greatest thing that's ever happened to the state of South Carolina. Outside of Dabo Swinney, if you swing that way, which I don't judge, but I do judge, and I think you made a wrong choice. But Dawn Staley is literally God, and she's absolutely revitalized this program. We are still ranked number 2 in the country, and this was a complete team effort. And there's been, there's the usual suspects. Queens College scored 49 points. We got 49 points from Joyce Edwards and Tanaya Latson combined alone in this game. Joyce Edwards has had a great year, 9 of 11 shooting, and she got 25 points in 25 minutes. Very effective, very efficient shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Then Tanaya Latson in 28 minutes, also 9 for 11 from the field, which arguably is more impressive because she's a guard and she's not constantly in the paint like Joyce Edwards is. Although Tanaya Latson can, shoot the ball from anywhere. She was also 2 for 2 for 3 in this game. She also had 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Raven Johnson, our queen Raven Johnson, 12 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Raven Johnson, in the year of our Lord, went 5 of 6 from the field. I know it's against Queens College, but that's still very impressive. And also 2 for 2 from three-point range. I see you, Raven Johnson. I see the effort that you've been putting in the gym, and I respect it, and I tip my cap to you because you've been putting in the work, and you look so much better than you did in years past with your shooting. Medina Okote, another great big 6'5" or 6'6" girl from Kenya. Another double-double for her. 14 points, 12 rebounds. She's 6'6" from Kenya. Absolute steal. So glad that she transferred from Mississippi State. And she's been the real defensive anchor for this team. Again, with the loss of Chloe Kitts and Ashlyn Watkins out for the season this year, South Carolina was really relying on Joyce Edwards to be the number one, post presence. And Medina Okote has, if not been as good, she might have surpassed her because, Joyce is going to score more points, but I mean, that 6'6" presence is really felt in the paint. And just an absolute, another gem of a defensive game by South Carolina, out rebounding Queens 51-25. Out blocking them 12-1. Fast break points 56-13, and they had 66 points in the paint. If you just got layups the whole game, they still would have beaten Queens College by double digits. This was an absolute ass whooping. The largest lead South Carolina had in this game was 74 points. And like I said, there's not too much to really get into, but I did have to shout out this team for putting up the most points in the history of Dawn Staley's coaching tenure at South Carolina. Now, after this game, they will be headed over to Vegas to play another Power 5 team, the Duke Blue Devils. And Duke has been an interesting team this year because they started off the season ranked really highly. They were ranked number 7. They started the season on not just on the road, but overseas in Paris against number 16 Baylor. They ended up losing that game close by 6 points. Then they beat Holy Cross. They ended up falling to 15th. They beat Norfolk State. That's great. But then they lost to West Virginia. And the crazy part about that loss to West Virginia was the fact that there was an in-game brawl, a scrapple, a kerfuffle, if you will. Someone took someone's lunch money. Someone said something about someone's mama. I don't know what happened, but they ended up engaging in a physical altercation, and West Virginia was left with just 5 players on their team that they could use. Reminds me of that LSU South Carolina SEC championship game a few years ago between Camila Cardozo and Angel Reese getting into it. But Duke ended up losing that game to a team with only 5 players, and they were unranked at the time. So then Duke beats Liberty, and by the time they play South Florida, they are unranked. And then they lose to an unranked South Florida team on the road by 13 points, which means that Duke went from being the number 7 team to come into the season to being unranked before Thanksgiving. And it's looking like South Carolina is going to beat them in Vegas. So they're going to go from being number 7 to 3-4 in their first 7 games, which is terrible, which is insane. And I like Duke. They're cool. I'm not a huge men's college basketball fan. I mean, I watch March Madness every year, but in terms of rooting for a team, I kind of gravitated towards Duke because they were always good, and I deserve to be a bandwagon fan and a front runner after rooting for the Mets, Jets, Islanders, and Brooklyn Nets. So I deserve this. And also Notre Dame, they haven't won a championship since the 80s either. So I deserve to root for a front runner like Duke. Casual, bandwagon fan, as you will. Nothing against their women's team. Kara Lawson's was a great player. She's a great coach, but they are struggling over there in Durham, North Carolina, and it looks like it's only going to get worse once they play South Carolina. And then if they win that, it's in the Players Era Championship. South Carolina is going to either have to play Texas or UCLA. So, I mean, you can say what you want about Dawn Staley. As I mentioned in a previous video, you can't say anything mean, though, because I will get very angry, and I will defend her till my very last breath. But they're going to end up playing either Texas or UCLA. So Dawn Staley does not shy away from competition. They signed up to play UConn for the next 3 seasons. They're going overseas to start next year in Paris. They're fine with traveling. They just went on the road in LA and beat USC. I meant they're not the real USC. South Carolina is the real USC. Southern California is not the real USC. And that was when we were expecting like the big matchup of Malaysia Fulwiley against Juju Watkins. Of course, Juju is injured, and Malaysia transferred to LSU, so we didn't end up getting that matchup. But South Carolina is off to a 6-0 start. They're number 2 in the country, and it's looking like it's going to be another great season. And before I go, I have to give a huge shout out to Adele Tack, the girl who has been riding the bench for pretty much her entire career. She ended up with her first career double-double. Could not finish this video without shouting her out. She's been through a lot of trials and tribulations on this team. She's not been getting a lot of play time. And granted, it's against Queens College, but she showed up and showed out in this game. So shout out to her. So that does it for this video. If you like this content, if you like this channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I post. And I will see you again next time.